Brent, how are you doing today? Welcome to the Poundcast.
Oh, thank you, and welcome to you. I am doing, I'm doing cool. Well, for starters, I have a little bit of a Reebok update for anybody
Yeah,
who's
because
interested.
people, that really set off a firestorm of controversy when you were talking about the Reeboks
It
last
didn't. I
week.
don't know if it started a controversy, but I think if people are interested, I can briefly touch on what happened and
Just give
what
us a
is
quick
happening.
recap of in case they didn't hear last week's episode.
Okay. Well, first of all, I didn't say what happened as far as Zappos, but it was 2 episodes ago. I
Right.
The short of it is that Reebok changed their formula. It's been a couple years since I bought a new pair of Reeboks. They changed their design, and I'm very upset with their new design. It's cheaper quality, and it not to my liking. The way it fits, the way it feels, the way it looks. Okay, and there's a bunch. It's hard for people to tell the difference, but if you really want to know all the differences, contact me. I'll detail them for you. But you can notice the quick noticeable ones are the tongue, the insole, and the outsole. Okay. Anyways, I looked everywhere for the old version, and you oftentimes see sellers that have the old pictures up or the old design up as their pictures. One of those sites is Zappos, and I called Zappos and I said, "Hey, that's those are the pictures are up or what you're selling, right?" And Zappos said, "Yes, as my name is Zappos, I can promise to you that those pictures are exactly what we sell." I said, "All right, Zappos, I'm trusting you." The shoes came. They were the new design.
Oh,
I said, "Okay, this is a bust."
well, luckily Zappos has those free returns.
I called Zappos. I said, "Zappos, these are not the shoes I ordered." And he said, "Oh, but they're the same." I said, "Nope, take a look at these pictures." And I had Zappos pull up the pictures of the new design. And granted, at first glance, you might not be able to tell the difference. But I said, see how the tongue is different? See how the this and this and this? And he goes, "You know what? You're right. Thank you for bringing this to our attention." And anyway, so whatever. Maybe they're going to update their pictures. So then I searched eBay for old stock. Again, people have the old pictures up, but I always inquire, are these the old, are you actually selling the pictures, or do you have the new design? The new design is different than the old design, blah, blah, blah. And I finally got one person who said, "Yeah, what I'm selling exactly what's in the picture." I said, "Okay, so these are the old stock, just to make sure." He said, "Yeah, I stocked these in 2018. I said, "Okay." I I I hit select on the 2-1 in Lewis. Shoes came, bingo, they were the old design. And so I
Thank you,
said, "You know
Brent.
what?
What a wonderful. So then what happened?
I said I'm going to clear this guy out now." So I went back on, and he unfortunately only had 3 more in my size that were the one of the old design.
That's a lot. How often do you go through a pair of shoes?
2.5 years, maybe 2.5 years or so.
So what, you
So
got like 7 years, 8 years of shoes right here.
8 to 10 years, maybe. Well,
Oh
so
my God.
I cleared them out,
So
and I
you're like,
bought.
unfortunately, I only have 10 more years of shoes.
I want more than that. I want it to last a lifetime, dude. I want to buy 20 pairs. I'm trying to buy 20 pairs of the old stock so that this will last me
You
for the
can
rest of my
easily
life, maybe.
find, you can find them. You just got to keep looking out there.
Well, dude, I've been all over the place. But anyway, I cleared this guy out. I said, "Dude, I'm buying them all." I bought all the rest of his shoes in my size of this style. And I'm looking everywhere else. There's no other eBay sellers that have this. This guy happened to have the old stock. But anyway, that's where I'm at. I've got 4 pairs now total. And I was going to switch to the new pair, but now I'm thinking I'm going to wear my current pair as much as possible now. I want to prolong. I'm going to walk extra careful everywhere I go, just so I can preserve the life of these shoes and maybe make
I
them
want to
last.
see how you're walking carefully. You're like,
Yeah, you know what? For the video listeners, well, I can't do it right now, but yeah, I'm basically
let me do
tiptoeing.
let me do a little demonstration of what I think
Yeah,
you're gonna walk like.
yeah. Yes, exactly, Doug. So that was a little video. If you want to watch video, you can check
Yeah,
out
you gotta go to
youtube.com.
youtube.com/thepoundcast, right?
Yeah, and you can see the walk. That is exactly how I will be walking for the rest of my next 10 to
Oh
12
my
years.
God.
Hopefully, maybe I can make these last 15 years, these
Oh my
next 4
God.
pairs. But I've got 4 pairs. And look, if you guys have a lead, let me know because
I'm
I'll
like,
buy
Brent, let's
those.
go. The restaurant or reservation, we're running 5 minutes late. And you're gonna be
I'm
like,
going the fastest I can here.
I'm like, dude, come on. You're like, my Reeboks, they're only gonna last. I'm like, dude, just walk normal for this restaurant reservation.
And then I go,
Or
all right,
shave off
fine.
a
There goes,
day.
there goes 3 months.
There goes 3 months.
There goes 3 months out of the life of these shoes here.
Well, maybe there's a cobbler. You know what you could do? What if you somehow found you contact Reebok and you find the mold that makes that shoe, like all the patterns and you get the like the blueprint for how to make that shoe,
Mm.
and then you could like have it made. You can
Well,
have a factory give them the specs and give them the materials.
that's a cool idea. That's actually an awesome thing to think, but I actually kind of thought that, but not to that extent. I thought usually the part that gets worn out the most, or that reason I need to change shoes usually is because of the usually the bottom heel part usually starts to open up at the bottom after enough wear.
Sure.
And I thought maybe there's a cobbler that can just sort of, put some rubber or whatever it is that's down there.
You can put shoe goo there. I have shoe
Yeah.
goo. Skaters know how to fix these things.
Yeah.
All right. Now, look, folks, this show is brought to you by LouisvilleVeganFoods.com. At LouisvilleVeganFoods.com, you can get Louisville Vegan Jerky and only for Poundcast listeners, 20% off your entire order. So go to LouisvilleVeganFoods.com, load up your cart, take your little mouse, add to cart, get that cart full, fill it up. Fill up that cart. Use the code word Poundcast. Okay? Use that code word and get. Wait, it'd be like.
I like the idea of you doing these click noises because you're going, you're kind of just doing this. You're gonna click on it. You're gonna drag.
Click. Okay, click. When it says drop down menu, add to cart. Get all your flavors going. And look, if you don't want 20% off, you want to go to a store now that things are opening up, go to the store, buy them at the store. And when you check it out, they're going like this. They're like, doot, doot, doot. They're beeping it out. And they're like, do you have a paper? They're like, do you have a bag? You want me to bag this for 10 cents? And you say, the Poundcast sent me.
Yeah, don't even answer them.
It doesn't even make any sense. They're like, what? You see those Louisville vegan jerkies? They're like, yeah, of course. I buy these myself. I get my store discount. I'm like, the Poundcast sent me.
Yeah, how much do they give you? 10, 15% off?
Yeah, what do they give you? 5, 10%? Haha, double it.
They say they go, the store employee says 5, 10%. No, they actually give me 15. And then you say, okay, good for you. Good, you know what? Good for you.
Yeah.
But I listen to the Poundcast.
Yeah.
And I get 20%. So
yeah, we're doing kind of 20.
So we're kind of maybe I should be working. Maybe I should be bagging your groceries. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe I should be bagging your groceries because with the money I save, I wouldn't even need a job working here. So anyway, that's how that works. They have all kinds of great flavors, and it's a great product that is our proud sponsor. Is there any other? This is kind of a long intro, but that's fine.
It's okay. We're just
people like to just hear us talk.
It's a little one-on-one kind of in the beginning here, but
one-on-one intro. It's fine.
So look, if you want to check out bonus content,
Joe Allen's gonna hate it.
Huh?
Nothing.
Who? Oh, Joe Allen. Yeah, totally.
Shout out to our buddies Mike and Joe up in Buffalo. We're just kidding. So what else is going on, Bre?
Well, there's a thing called patreon.com.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Poundcast, which has bonus content for the Poundcast. And, you're definitely going to want to definitely kind of check that out for this episode, I think. Um, it's basically they're extended. We usually spend half an hour to an hour with our guest, or if it's even just if it's just me and Doug, we'll keep talking about stuff and we'll get into some other stuff, and it's a lot of fun. And our guest this episode is artist Bert Rodriguez or Norberto Rodriguez, and we talk a lot about.
He's a returning guest. He's a fascinating artist, friend of ours,
It
and
always is interesting having him
yeah,
on, and
he's just he's got a lot of cool. He's just a interesting guy that we can talk to endlessly because
yeah, and we talk a lot about NFTs on this episode, and we
we
talk
get into
about
some NFTs, but then in the After Dark, we go through his works, which you can see at norber.to. That's his website. So it's like his
and
name,
but we kind of go
Norberto, with
through
a
it,
dot before the to. Anyway,
and we kind of go through it visually, so it's something
and
you
we
might
also
want to
talk
see the
about real
videos.
dogs, which would be
Oh, don't even go there just yet. Just
okay,
that is
but
strictly After Dark, real
that's
dogs.
After Dark.
But yeah, it gets look. Fair warning. There's After Dark, even for the listeners, it gets a little freaky. Okay. I mean,
But
it's
that's
not
what it's all
even.
about. That's why that's our safe space to get freaky.
It's our safe space, I guess.
Yeah.
If you want to join the safe space and hear what that's all about, patreon.com/poundcast, and you can get that extra content there.
That's right. Patreon.com/Poundcast. That's another way to support us. And it's a great value because you get the After Dark
And
episodes. And that's where it goes down.
and it does get kind of dark,
And it gets dark. And
for
look,
better or worse.
you don't have to do that. All you got to do is still enjoy the if you don't have a few extra bucks to throw at us every month, that's fine. Just we're glad that you're here.
Yeah, we're glad
If
you're
you want to
here.
watch, if for some reason you want to watch us sitting here on Zoom, and you want to see my room here, with this piece of art, you go to youtube.com/the Poundcast.
There's
Ain't
also
that
an
right, Acorn? He's looking at me. He knows his name is Acorn.
There's a difference. Oh, not a difference. There's also
yeah.
there's also there's also a oh, there you go. You're doing what you talked about later, but we won't. There's also an account for Instagram and Twitter, the Poundcast was both of them, and there's clips that are up there that are fun to watch if you want to check out some little bonus clips that Jackie Montana makes for on Instagram. So you can check that out. Finally,
one other thing, of course, we have our Patreon subscribers have been remixing the theme song.
can I mention something right before we mention this theme song, because that's going to segue?
Absolutely.
I just want to mention, the Gangster Party Line podcast has been coming out, and there's only one season of them currently, and there's 12 episodes, but not all 12 are out yet. But I think there's maybe 8 or 9 episodes out. I never mentioned this at the end of those episodes, so I'm mentioning it here. If you like that, and again, that's not for everybody. There's crap talking, and it gets kind of offensive sometimes. Sure. If you do like that show, feel free to go on Apple Music or wherever and rate and review it positively. I mean, if you don't like it, then don't do that. But and then hopefully the show can appear to iHeartRadio that it's doing somewhat well, and that maybe we can do another season of it if it's something you like. So
that could be something
that's
pretty
that.
cool, Brent.
Now, what did you say?
I don't know. I spaced out for a second. Look,
Well, anyways,
we had this is a long episode, and then even the After Dark is long, so that's why I'm a little spaced out. We had a fun time talking to Bert. Let's talk to Bert, but we'll like listen to one of the remixes maybe real quick.
as you were saying about the stems, and I kind of cut you off.
Oh yeah, so I put the stems to the theme song on the Patreon page, so anyone on there can remix it, and the remixes have been coming in week after week, as you know. I wonder what I talked to the audience as if this is their first time, but maybe I should start talking to the audience like the bulk of them are. They know the drill.
You know the drill. You know why we're here.
They know the drill. Now,
We
what
know
do we
why
got
they're
this
here.
week, Brent? Who's our remixer of the week?
Our remixer of the week is Joel Stotsberry.
Huh.
And Joel Stotsberry also made artwork for this particular track, which we'll have in the YouTube video of this showing while this plays. And he made this remix exclusively on his new Polyene tracker.
Oh, he did. That's cool because I had the Polyend Medusa. I think that's what it was called, but I returned it. But I wanted the Polyend tracker.
Well, there
I
you
can't
go.
wait to hear this. This is cool. Let's roll the clip and then we'll get on with the show with Bert.
Sounds good.
I can't wait to hear this remix, Brent. Roll the clip.
Strap in.
Wipe up.
Doug and Brent. Doug and Brent. Doug and Brent. Doug and Brent.
Welcome to the Poundcast. We got
Whoa.
Norberto. Bert Rodriguez is here. He's back on the show. And Bert, you were on the show before. And that's one of
Yes.
me and Brent's personal favorite episodes.
He's been on. He's
Really?
been on twice
Oh.
actually. He's been on twice.
He's been on
and-
twice?
Yeah.
I have?
Wait, have you? Yeah, I'm almost certain you have. And it's always
I only know. Okay.
it's
Cool.
both times have been are always one of my favorite episodes is definitely is the one where you talked about selling basically ad space on the walls of your show.
Oh, yeah.
And that just is, I loved that. And but I think that you came on the second time to talk about how you turned an apartment or your apartment into a museum or something like that. And both appearances were always a very fascinating conversation. And so I guess what I'm saying is that the bar has been set by yourself and the expectation is high and the pressure's on. So this better be good, Bert.
Cool. Whatever.
No, I'm just kidding.
I feel zero pressure or concern. Or
Good.
Yeah, I'm good. I did mushrooms yesterday. I'm in a great place.
How many did you take?
I don't know. It was maybe like 3 grams. About.
Why did you take mushrooms?
I don't know. Just felt like a good time to do it. I was working on a bunch of weird shit and I needed something, extra. Weed wasn't enough, So I took some mushrooms and then I did like a weird, I like hang out and write for like 4 hours basically. That's it.
What was the job that you were doing?
I was just working on my weird art. Trying to see the big picture and the little details. You know what I mean?
Can you describe what your art is these days? Because the way I would describe it,
Please.
The way that you have been describing it to me in the last year or two is that everything is art. That's kind of like your concept right now, right?
I guess so. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm just kind of riding the ride,
The signature to your email said, "This email is art."
Yeah. I literally want to make everything art, but that seems like the joke. That seems like the punchline to the joke that's actually like a real serious kind of like valuable, like art matters kind of a thing, like save the world kind of business. You know what I mean? Like there's a superhero layer underneath like the joke, which is like everything is art, guys. That's like what your old lady in high school, like your old art teacher in high school would say, but like nobody really believes it. Like I want to literally do it just to like, because that's hilarious. to be able to actually prove it, like legitimately make everything art. And now with NFTs, I actually can. I can literally sell everything. So, like, now I have like a technology that exists that allows me to literally sell every aspect of my life as a work of art. So, like, we can have lunch. You buy the NFT, we have lunch. You know what I mean? And that's an art performance or whatever. So I'm working on like a big, like larger sort of framework idea to basically allow me to do whatever I want within that framework and make it art and then actually sell it. Does that make sense? And I have it, and that's what I've been doing for the last few years is like mapping that whole thing out, sort of, so that I can just start plug and play, just kind of like do whatever I want within these little like series that I've created.
Okay, so how do you do this?
Does that, I mean, that sounds probably more complicated than
Well,
it actually
explain
is.
that. Go into more detail.
Okay.
Specifically, yeah.
No, I
examples.
can. I mean, the best correlation I can make to it in like pop culture is like the Marvel franchise, right? So you've got this larger universe that is the Marvel universe where all these characters live inside, and each one has their own little like story thing happening that's going on in their own thing. Like Iron Man has his own little mini franchise that's part of the larger Avengers thing that is part of the larger Marvel universe that is TV and all the other things, right? So as an artist, I'm doing a similar thing conceptually, just taking the story of my life and breaking it up into a bunch of little pieces that people can invest in different ways. Like you can subscribe to my OnlyFans. You can like buy an NFT. Like instead of buying a painting from me, you can buy me for a month and I go live with you for a month and that whole thing gets documented as a performance, blah, 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 blah. It's like taking what this marriage piece was a seed of and like finally fulfilling the promise of that kind of idea. Does that make sense? Does that make
Well,
more sense? Better sense?
that
Yeah,
makes
well-
that makes a lot of sense. But
Oh,
for,
thank
for
you.
those who haven't heard the older episode, in college, you married someone as an art project
Yeah, for a year. I married a stranger off the street. For a year.
for a year.
For a year, yeah. And then we got divorced. Almost exactly a year later. I tried to, plan it, but you can't.
When was the last time you spoke to your ex-wife?
Actually, a couple years ago, I
Really?
reached out. Yeah, because I was doing this project. So I also talked about the museum because at the time I had the Bert Rodriguez Museum. That's when
You're
I
doing this
talked to
project
him.
where you were doing this project where I wanted to try to get remarried to my ex-wife. No, just kidding. Go.
Really?
No. I was just kidding. Go
Oh,
ahead.
you
Go ahead.
should then. Oh, wait, I have a question for you too, though. But what was I saying? Oh, the museum. Yeah, so I reached out a couple years ago because I was closing down the museum because I did this other weird performance where because that was called the Bert Rodriguez Museum. And I wanted to kill Bert off because my real name is Norberto. And I was kind of sick of everybody calling me Bert and that being like a weird bastarded like shortening of my name, like my birth name. And I thought it would be really weird 30 years later to kill in one artist's career and like start a whole new one as like some new guy who has zero like Google things on his search. So Bert died and then I decided to close the museum down. And in the midst of that project, I was revisiting all the old things that I had done that Bert had done as an artist. So I got in touch with my ex-wife. She like lives in San Francisco. She's like married with kids. She's a speech therapist. Really cute. And she was so like, I thought she was gonna be like this fucking guy, And she was like, dude, I've been following your career. I'm so fucking happy for you. I'm so like happy I got to be a part of your weird fucking life adventure. Like she was so happy and sweet about it, like where I thought she would be like, bleh, this fucking asshole used me for whatever. It was really cute. Anyway.
That's
yes,
cool.
Brent.
So
yeah, it's awesome.
you, when you were describing all these aspects of your life becoming art or being art, there was always some sort of monetary element involved. And so my question is, for it to sort of count as a piece, does it have to be sellable? Or is
Absolutely.
it's absolutely okay? Interesting.
No, absolutely not. I was going to say absolutely not.
Okay. They said absolutely.
No, but see, that's part of like that's part of like making the idea more accessible and digestible for everybody else in the world, because everybody thinks of art, most of the world thinks of art as the thing, right? Like the painting that you buy or the drawing the guy makes or whatever, instead of like the perspective and the insight that a person has that leads to that drawing or that painting. Like the painting is just capturing the thing that that artist is trying to interpret through their body. You know what I mean? Like I pick up a stick with fucking goo at the end of it and I do this for 4 hours or whatever, or 8 years, and this thing comes out, and then people take that thing. So like the point I'm trying to make is like I like playing on the I like adding that like sort of caveat to it because it legitimizes it, I think, for the rest of the world. It's like, oh, this is a thing that has value in the world, even though outside of it, I know, and most people that are willing to sort of take that extra step to get into the art of it, will realize that the money thing is just, it's nothing. It really means nothing. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
This is very interesting to me, and what you're describing about someone is trying to express something, a vision or something like that, and they have to do that through some sort of physical means, either and through their body. It really reminds me a lot of Lacanian sort of psychoanalysis and the theory of suturing things. So there being or there or it reminds me of the idea of there being a that what we see and what we experience are sort of uh they're not, it's not the truth really, that the truth is something we can't really access, and but we get some sort of representation of it through whatever, a drawing or whatever.
Sure.
But there is this sublime inaccessible thing, and that there's this, I don't know, it just feels a lot like what you're it just sounds like it sounds like the core of modern art in a way or something. Actually, am I talking about this correctly actually when I talk about Lacanian theory, is
I mean,
I don't know what that is, Brent. So don't dwell on it.
okay,
too
so
much.
forget about it. Forget it. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
No,
Well,
but
all I'm really trying to say is that it's really interesting, the idea of there being a sublime, and we can't really get to that truth really. And even in the way we speak, even that somewhat dilutes some sort of truth in the way we
Sure.
want to communicate, because we have to kind of conform to something that everyone can understand. And you're kind of saying the same thing, is that adding a price to something or whatever, it actually is in a way to help people conform to understanding what that is, I guess, right?
Yeah, it gives the rest of the world that like understands value as a thing you exchange money for, like it gives them an access point to a bigger idea, that like me eating a sandwich with my kids can be a weird art performance and can feel like I'm obsessed with this idea of what like the first artist was. Like who was the first monkey that was tripping on fucking mushrooms that just sat, what I mean, was just sitting there like not worrying about, like he wasn't horny, he wasn't hungry, or she wasn't horny or hungry. No one was trying to fucking kill him. They were just sitting there and they were finally feeling that weird thing that every artist I know feels when you're like fully present in that moment, that you sometimes feel when you sit in front of a painting, right? Like you feel like time kind of disappears and like you're kind of transported into this other place where like none of the things that like are pushing against you are pushing against you. You know what I mean? Or whatever. I mean, talking, I don't want to go into like a deep woo woo fucking Joe Rogan shit, but you know what I mean, right? So like imagine that monkey, like, so in my mind, it's like the art is actually the experience a person is having, and we've just conformed because we started out as monkeys just picking up sticks and like drawing shit, on cave walls or whatever the fuck. Like over time, culture evolved around the idea of taking art out of its nature, out of its natural sort of, because we weren't ready evolutionarily to experience it, because we weren't evolved enough, like the complexity of our brains, you know what I mean? And like the level of experience that we've had as a species wasn't refined enough to like just experience art on the regular. Like, oh yeah, like me walking down the street and hearing birds or whatever, like, you know, whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Well, so in a sense, do you think that babies are kind of closer to they're closer to art in a way because they haven't
Yes.
conformed as much? They're not using language, so language
Yes.
kind of makes you dilutes things, and they're closer to the truth of what art is, or the experience of art is in your mind, at least.
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I believe that art is actually, like, art is just the name we gave the thing.
That represents what it actually is.
What nature actually is, what the experience of being alive, like consciousness itself, as it's evolved through like the history of the fucking universe, from like weird hot space dust to like a fucking weird Cuban guy wearing a hoodie. You know what I mean? That like is saying everything is art, like blah 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 blah. Like it's all the same shit. We've just been compartmentalizing it because our brains couldn't walk into that experience completely, like purely. You know what I mean? So we made this thing to separate it so that we could see it, so that it could learn from itself. Like when we make a painting, we're not making it for us. We're making it for our brain and our like the weird consciousness that makes us alive to be like, oh, so that's what that feels like. You know what I mean? And this human thing doesn't understand what the fuck is going on. All these squiggles and shit doesn't make any sense. But I get it, and now I'm evolving and learning and growing and changing. Blah blah blah. So, and I think my art practice is some attempt to like bridge that gap or something. I don't know.
Bert,
Or not, or I'm insane and I should just go to the hospital. Sorry, Doug.
No, you shouldn't go to the hospital. I like what you're doing. You're
Oh, thanks, buddy. Thanks.
you do interesting, inspiring stuff that makes me think that I'm glad that you're doing it. But what would you, when you say that like somebody takes a stick with some goo on it, whatever, a paintbrush,
yeah,
and they make a painting, that's a work of art, but the actual art in a way is not necessarily the painting itself, but the moment that it's like the act of it or
is what was inside the person making it.
Right. It's that's just like that. The art is just the residue of like the work of art is just like the residue of like what was in the real art was in the mind, and it gets through some filter of like how shitty you can draw.
Filter. Yes.
Yeah. So it's like how shitty you can draw or whatever, and how like it gets busted around before it finally gets banged out onto the final medium.
Yeah, I mean, like, imagine like
that's the suture.
Is that what that is? I don't know. I've never read any Lacan, so I don't know.
I could be totally wrong about this, but I think it's sort of like there's this truth that it gets sutured by what we're talking about, and you're not there. It closes a gap or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about, actually.
I mean, maybe I should read it, or maybe
I don't know.
Like, I feel like
maybe I'm confusing it with somebody else. Maybe I'm confusing it with Baudrillard or Lyotard or something like that.
Yeah, one of those guys. There's all those
something
guys.
like that. It's some kind of postmodern thing, you know.
Sartre and fucking Jiminy, fucking Cricket or whatever. They're all this, you know.
Yeah, it might be Cricket. Now that I think about it, it could be Cricket.
Sounds like the works of Cricket.
I think it's the works of Cricket. Just delve into that.
I love Cricket. He's a great philosopher.
Cricket is deep.
Yeah, he's real.
You got Socrates, Sartre, Cricket,
Jiminy. You got Jiminy.
But Bert, you were the first person that I ever knew to sell an NFT.
Yeah.
Like one day you said,
I am one of the first.
You said I sold a tweet for how much was it? $100?
Well, the first NFT I ever sold was a tweet for $2.80.
Yeah, you said this tweet. You said this tweet is art. And what was the tweet?
The second tweet I sold for $1,000.
$1,000. Okay. That's
interesting. I mean, the one for $2 is like revolutionary, but then to sell one for $1,000 is like, get the fuck out.
Wait. What did the first tweet say?
The first tweet was just like, it was just some random tweet that I had put because I had told my friend like, wait, I can sell tweets as NFTs now. This is fucking awesome. And he went ahead like and just went and bought one from me like, oh, let me see, you know. So I think the first one said something like, I want to win the Nobel Prize for art or some bullshit, like it's what was one of my I want to save the world tweets, but the other one that I sold for $1,000 just said this tweet is a work of art.
And then how does somebody buy a tweet?
Well, you have to go to like the NFT site that allows you to buy tweets. It's Cent, CENT. And it's pretty simple. I mean, you have to set up your wallet, obviously the crypto thing. You have to do that first. But then you just drop the link of any tweet you want to buy and you make an offer. And that's it. The person gets the offer and they either say yes or no, or they wait till someone makes a better offer,
Yeah, but real quick, when they buy a tweet, what do they buy?
Well, okay. I mean then you have to get into the whole NFT conversation.
If it's boring, we don't have to get into that.
No, it's fine because I mean what you're buying is the tweet that lives on it. I don't think it is. I think it's interesting, and I think like this helps me with my cause to like suggest that everyone can be an artist and everything can be art. Like every single human being on earth can be selling their fucking tweets. Like go for it, bro. Like what are you waiting for? You know what I mean? Anyway, so. It's not that boring. It's just you wait, what was I going to say? Oh, when you're buying the tweet, you're literally buying the tweet that lives on Twitter, like the tweet itself on Twitter. Like Twitter is the museum and the tweet you put on the wall, on the Twitter wall feed is the tweet that someone is buying. Like that thing is the thing. You're not getting a JPEG of the tweet. I mean, I send the collector a JPEG and like the link to where the NFT is. Like I send them a little document that has all the info they need. Obviously, because I'm a professional fucking artist or whatever. So, but yeah, what you're buying is the tweet, like that tweet on there. It's like buying a weird like street art thing or like a fire hydrant that has a painting on it. Like every time you drive by the fire hydrant, it's like, oh yeah, I bought that thing. But what you really own is the NFT, the digitized certificate of authenticity that is connected to that digitally. You know what I mean? Like on the internet. So what you really have in possession is the NFT that's just connected to that.
Is it bragging rights?
What bragging rights? Huh?
What you really own is sort of saying, I own that.
Yeah. I mean, in the traditional art world, the way I've done it, because I've basically been making NFTs the whole time for the last 30 years. They just weren't called NFTs. Like whenever I sell some weird conceptual piece, like I sold the permission to build a wall to a collector once. And what they get is a certificate of authenticity signed by the artist that says you now have permission to build this wall anytime you want.
What wall?
It's just a wall. It's just instructions to build a wall.
But is it like a special Bert Rodriguez wall or what?
No, it's just a wall. So there's a collector in Seattle, a big one too, like a big name, who like owns a certificate that gives them permission to build a wall.
Is your wall in any way artistic what is it about this wall? Or is it not even that? The whole point is that the joke is that you have a certificate for a plain basic ass wall.
You just build a wall. Yeah.
Well, how did you advertise to get the tweet sold for $1,000? How did someone end up finding out about it and say, all right, I'll pay $1,000 for it?
I mean, I just started like sharing it on Instagram and shit, like, holy shit, my friend just bought my tweet for $2. I can't believe I can sell tweets as NFTs now. Hell yeah, I'm a conceptual artist. Like, ding dong, like I win. Like a conceptual artist tweets, that's a natural thing, Perfect. I just write down my weird ideas in very short form. Like, it's my dream come true. Like, my dream come true is to just be able to let this thing and this thing just like speak through me. Like, instead of picking up a stick with goo on it and taking 8 months to paint a fucking tree, I just make a video of the tree and like talk about it and share my feelings and like whatever. It's the same fucking thing, And now we have the technology and the culture around it that I can do it. Like I can be that artist now, Whereas before, like if Warhol had a fucking cell phone, he wouldn't be painting fucking soup cans. He'd just be at the grocery store all day like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You know what I mean? Like the second they gave Warhol a video camera, what did he do? He shot a 12-hour video of like the New York Times building or something. I don't remember. It's just like a building for 12 hours. Like, of course, I get it, Anyway,
Now you smile and you kind of laugh about this a little bit. How much? What percent? What percentage of all this do you think is ridiculous, but you're into it anyway?
I think it's both for me. It's like both. I just understand the both extremes. Like all art is absurd and fucking stupid. Like the whole idea of art to begin with is a fucking joke. You know what I mean? Because like everything is art. Who's gonna tell me that tree isn't fucking art? You know what I mean? Or like my cell phone, this thing is insane looking. You know what I'm saying? So like, of course, art is bullshit. But also, like, if that is true, like there is a value and meaning and like there's this additional layer of experience that most people I don't think are having in life, you know, that I think art is the way and the means to sort of feeling it and experiencing it, you know? Like art has always been the way, even if it's just making a dumb drawing, you know, like there's something about letting these things like interpret the world for you and then show you what that fucking weird drawing looks like. That's what you think a bear looks like? Like that's not what I see. Like what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like that there's something about that in terms of like on basic level, like evolution of consciousness kind of shit, you know? Like that's happening. You know what I
You know
mean?
what? You know what art is, and not just art, but all communication is a less subjective way of expressing one's subjectivity.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm into
It's a
that.
more objective way of expressing one's subjectivity.
Yep.
Can you explain that? What are you talking? I
Me?
feel like I'm in art
Well,
class right now.
everyone perceives the world in their own subjective way, but the way that you interpret it with through language or and express it through language or even through drawings and or photographs or whatever, it's a way for other people to be able to kind of see what you're seeing, but they're not, no one ever going to see exactly what you see because we all see things uniquely subjectively, but we can see things similarly because we've developed a way of communicating that kind of levels things out, or makes things a little more, like I said, objective in a way. So for example, the concept of green, okay, if we see something that we both agree is green, well, we use this word green to communicate what that means, but that's really just an approximation of what we are really seeing. What I see as green is probably different as what you see as green, so, to some degree. But when we say green, we're kind of making it sound like we're talking about the same thing. You dig what I'm saying here?
Yeah, I'm into it.
I mean, Doug,
Oh. How you feel? How you feel?
Well,
Doug?
I mean, we don't have to.
You know what I'm saying?
This is might get kind of boring or something. Yeah, I mean, I get it, but we're looking at. Yeah, we all see the world through whatever our senses interpret it in our own mind. Green probably is the reflecting light at a certain, you know, a certain like BPM. That's what makes it that color, right? So
Right, but what I'm saying that green, the way we see it, and the way what green means is green can mean something different for both of us, and so we never really truly see the same thing as everyone else, but we can kind of have this shared experience by creating terms and ways of communicating that we can share, but it takes away from the actual subjectivity of it. You dig?
You dig?
yeah, I get it. That's what language is. It's so
Yeah, I mean, language
Right.
is art. Language
This-
is art. It's all art.
Well, wait, Bert,
Everything we've invented is
oh,
art.
by the way,
What?
do you not like to be called Bert then anymore?
Oh, I don't care. I don't. I mean, it doesn't. It's literally just a matter of convention. Like whatever you're comfortable. You can call me fucking Chinese. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't. I really
Chinese
don't care.
as your name, now?
Chinese. I have a
Sure.
question.
Chinese Rodriguez.
Chinese Rodriguez is great, man. Chinese Rodriguez is a great fucking name. Like I mean, here's the other thing, guys. I think in the last few years, especially with this COVID thing, I've just reached enlightenment. I'm just like there. I'm at whatever that thing is that those weird dudes end up at, where they just sit in this fucking position all day and just like laugh and like listen to birds and smile. You know, it's fucking crazy.
How did you get to
And
that
it's like
point?
art.
How did you get to that point of enlightenment?
I don't know, man. I think I was on it since the beginning, and I learned a lot of like really weird, interesting things really early on, you know? like at a really young age.
Like
I
what?
I got introduced to like Marcel Duchamp, just art in general, being introduced to like real art history at like the age of 15, you know, like real heavy, like deep cut motherfuckers, and being like, what the fuck? Like, I'm some weird kid in high school, and there's a guy who just like built a fake floor in a gallery and just laid underneath it all day and jerked off anytime anyone that came in. Like, what the
Who was
fuck?
that?
Vito Acanci, this performance artist, he's a fucking genius and one of my greatest heroes of all time. Or like Marina Abramovic, like literally a fucking woman just walks into a fucking gallery fully fucking naked and has like a giant pedestal in front of her with all manner of stuff, like a feather, a gun, a knife, a fucking whatever, you know? And anyone that comes into the gallery is welcome to take whatever they want and do whatever they want to her. That's insane, you know? So imagine a 16-year-old like punk rock skater bro kid like being like, wait, I can just fucking do this all day? Like, fuck yeah, I'm in, you know? So
Wait a second. What is what?
and then I got into meditation and like and then of course because of the work I was making, it got really weird and abstract and like philosophical and insane, you know, like where I went down my own rabbit hole, you know. So I think I just ended up, and then COVID happened. And it was like I went on a vow of silence for a year and a half, you know.
Are you
But-
gonna?
It
Yeah,
was
go ahead.
How do you
No, go-
but you seem like you seem to smoke a lot of weed.
I do smoke a lot of weed.
And by the way, I smoked weed the other night as an experiment,
Man.
and I wrote down my experiences.
Oh, good, good. I almost videotaped me on mushrooms, but
I could
couldn't do it.
share some of that with you.
Please.
But anyway, yeah, whenever I smoke it, I usually it's usually like it's not something I can do that often. It's just very intense. But how do you just what are some advice? Because I've been going through some anxiety issues, and you know the quarantine's taking its toll on me. But what's some advice you can give me to be more enlightened and happy like you are?
I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I want. It's like I can't tell people to do what I do because, like, go marry a stranger for a year. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I know how I did it.
I'm
I
not
did a
going to do
bunch-
what you do. I'm just wondering if
I mean, in general, I would say meditation is probably the thing that has given me the most, like, that's benefited me the most from a health
No.
perspective. Yeah.
what kind of meditation do you do,
TM.
and how did you learn that?
I learned it in Miami, like, I don't know, years ago, 2000 something.
And do you do it every day,
Yep.
twice
Every
a day?
day, almost twice a day. I mean, I kind of don't do the second one as much as I'd like, but also I've been like busting my ass, like working on these crazy ideas. So I kind of took a break from, I think one a day is pretty good when you're being really productive, but usually, yeah, twice a day.
When do
And
you
I've been-
do the first one?
Right. First thing in the morning when I wake up.
So you wake up, you're in bed, and then you're
No, I
like,
wake up, I get out of bed, like I get out of bed, like I get up, you know, and then I go sit in my little meditation corner and like do the thing. It's like part of once the moment I learned it, which was I wish I could remember the year I learned it. It was like 2006 or something. It's been a long time. Like the moment I learned after the first meditation, like after you go like the 4-day little course or whatever they teach you, like the first time I did it by myself, I literally cried for like 45 minutes straight. But like, and I wasn't like sad crying. It wasn't like, it didn't feel like this, like, what's that word? Like that purge, you know, like when you're crying and it's like, you know, when you're like really letting some shit go. It was like, I could still make a sandwich and like watch TV. It was just like, shit was just streaming. Like, it was just like, I guess I'm just fucking, this shit's just leaking. It was fucking weird. And I was like, wait, I'm in. So I just made it, like I made it a priority in my life. It became like my workout routine. It became like my discipline, you know, like karate. It's like, fuck it. I'm going to do it every day, twice a day and see where this fucking weird thing goes. And here we are, you know, like I'm selling NFTs of me like eating sandwiches and shit.
Well, that's
Good. Well, real quick,
yeah.
I asked because I got some friends, you know, I keep hearing about it, and I should just bite the bullet because more and more I keep meeting more and more people that do it, and I think that's what I need. Maybe.
I mean, out of all the meditations that I've researched over the years, this seems to be the most effective and like from a mechanical perspective. You know what I mean? Like from an actual thing that gets your brain into the right state and your body into the right state, you know?
Uh huh.
Because all the other ones are a little bit like woo woo ish, whereas this is like it's based in some kind of like physiological science, you know, like it's an ancient science that maybe is outdated, but it like works, you know?
And somebody gave you a mantra.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they gave me
And
one.
what is it?
Oh, I can't tell you.
I'm just kidding.
I know it.
What's the big deal with people telling their mantras? Why does it have to be a secret? I mean, I know
You
about
know,
that.
I mean,
I like
Or-
it. Keep it a secret.
but I'm just saying,
or-
why though? What's the reasoning behind it?
Ancient
well,
Chinese
I-
secret.
I can tell you why I feel the way I feel about not sharing it, which is I think because the practice is so ancient and the way you learn it is like very mentor like student thing. Like I have a really like meaningful relationship with the weird little Jewish doctor that taught me how to do it. You know, like and the thing felt so sacred and like there was like a sweet sort of like intimacy to learning it that like when you get the mantra I'm like oh shit I'm getting this special little thing for me even though I know it's not there's like 1,000 other people on earth that have the same mantra like it's not about them, you know what I mean? It's not even about the mantra, it's about like the process of learning this thing, this weird ancient sort of gift of like yo chill the fuck out and enjoy your life, you know what I mean? And like do the best fucking thing you can, like be the best you or whatever, you know? So that's
Mhm.
kind of why I don't share it because I feel like it's something special to me, you know, like this thing that I was given. It's like, oh, I have this little like fucking infinity stone and it's mine. And like I get to use it whenever I need to do my thing. Like I don't need to be fucking putting that on Instagram. Like why, you know? Because no one else understands the value of that thing. Because the thing itself isn't the value. You know? It's like a painting.
What if you told your mantra to someone and it like opened up a chasm of evil? Like no one's ever done that.
Like the hell.
And
Or
then like
something.
all these
You
all
shared
these
the
like the
mantra.
ground cracks open.
Yeah.
And then
That would
like
be amazing.
all these souls come out from hell and they're
I mean, I'm
unleashed.
down.
Demons are unleashed on earth.
I'm
There's a
down to
movie
try
idea
it.
right there, folks.
I'm down to try it. I'm down to try it.
And they come
I
out and they
wanna-
say,
What if on your deathbed, the doctor's like,
Ooh.
you got 5 minutes to live, Mr. Rodriguez. And then I'm like, Bert,
4:59.
can you tell me, you know, just tell me what it is. And
No,
then
I'll just-
you whisper it to me, and then somehow that gives you eternal life. You turn into like a
Me?
you turn
yeah,
into
for
Chinese
some reason,
Rodriguez.
like
Oh, I get-
nobody knew that it makes you it turns you kind of like into a vampire or something.
into a god.
Wait,
Yeah,
so
a god.
I get eternal life, but also release hell on earth?
Yeah, that's
You
the
could do whatever
trade-off.
you want. You could do anything. You could
Fuck
say,
yeah, I'm in, bro. I get to
You could
rule
s-
over. I get to be Satan, basically. I get to be fucking Lucifer.
Actually,
I'm
here's a
in.
question.
Let's
This is
go.
a real question though. If you could
Okay, yeah.
become, if you could become Satan and rule hell, would you do it?
I mean, I was thinking about this yesterday because I was watching Lucifer, the show, and it's not a great show, but I like the premise.
What's the premise?
Well, the premise is like Lucifer is on Earth, and he's just like he left hell. Basically, he just got bored and left hell. But like he's slowly turning into like a good guy, you know, like he's slowly caring about humans the more time he spends with them.
He's like
And he's
Breaking
using-
Good.
Yeah, it's like Breaking Good.
It's kind of like Meet Joe Black a little bit.
And I was like, and I was thinking like, wait, if I'm enlightened and I'm like a pure being of like happy lightness, what would happen if I sold my soul to the devil now? Like if I sold my soul to the devil and ended up in hell, like what would they do with this happy, sweet guy who's like, everything is art, guys. Yeah, those burning trees look beautiful. Let's go. You know, like whatever. I don't like how would they handle like such a sweet, happy guy who's always positive and optimistic, like in hell, because like the deal is I sold my soul, so like I have to do it.
Well,
Like what if I
because-
sold my soul to be famous, but
Well-
I still did good?
Well, also maybe the devil was an art collector and he considered your soul to be a piece. You know,
That's what I'm saying. I think the whole devil thing to begin with is the whole idea is suspect. You know, the whole God and the devil thing. It's like,
hey, you know how you say everything you do is art?
yes.
Everything is art. So how is this podcast that we're doing right
Yes.
now art, and how much do you think it'll
100.
go for?
I don't know. It depends. I mean, you got some pretty big names here. You got Brent Whitebeck, Doug, and me. I don't know. I mean, we could split it three ways. 30% each. The other 9% or whatever.
The other 10 we'll give to Satan.
No, we'll give it to charity or something. You know,
Oh yeah.
We'll give it
okay.
to our team.
Oh, yeah,
we'll give
the
it to our
team.
team. We'll give it to our team. I don't know. We can try. We can post it. See what we get for it.
What would be the selling for, like, how does this become an art piece though? Would you just say, okay, well, here's
You
this
just- You
podcast
just
we
put
did?
it on there. You just put it on there. You just say it is. You just say it's art. I mean, you just said it already. I mean, I'm giving it extra legitimacy because I'm like the guy who says everything is art, you know?
Right.
So like I give it a little bit. I make it a little
How
more
much do you
legit,
think?
but
How much do you think this podcast would sell
so we
for?
could probably get at least a couple $100. But I mean, we can
Couple
probably
hundred.
shoot for 1,000.
This hour-long or whatever podcast is
But
going
here's the
to
thing.
sell for less
Here's
than the tweet.
Well, I mean, listen, I don't know. The tweet was pretty major. Like this tweet is a work of art, you know? You got to say something.
Do you know
pretty
what the
wild.
first NFT
Yeah.
was?
I do remember it was one of those like crypto fucking bird or whatever things. I don't know. Crypto tweet or something.
What
I
do
don't
you?
know.
s- I'm
don't know
just
what it
curious. What is your opinion about whatever NFTs being bad for the environment?
It's all bullshit. I mean, it's not all bullshit. It's just it's so exaggerated and uninformed. So much of the info out there is so wrong. Like a car driving down the street is worse for the environment than like all of the NFTs ever minted. You know what I mean? Like, sure, it's causing problems because it's using electricity, the thing we use for every fucking else, you know, everything else in the world. But the crypto community is already working on improvements to the system itself to eliminate all of those problems. You know what I mean? It's not like a car company is like, yeah, we got you, baby. Anyway, make that car burn more gas, please, or whatever. Like, whereas these guys are actually like fulfilling the promise. We're like, oh shit, sorry guys, that is a problem. Let's start fixing it, and then they're already fixing it. Like within the next year or two, like all of that crypto technology will have been upgraded. You know.
So your tweet that's sold for $1,000, that could be on. That's going to be more on a. It could be on like on a paper bag pretty soon.
Paper bag? What do you mean?
I don't know. I'm just trying to make it sound more like renewable or something.
Oh yeah, it could be on a paper bag.
Okay, question.
With
The-
like a little, like a little thing on it, you know, like one of these guys.
A little dongle,
Yeah, a little dongle.
USB dongle.
Question here.
Yes,
Okay, so Tim and Eric released an NFT and it got a lot of backlash.
they did.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you, why do you think that was? Well, I guess you don't. I mean, why do you think? I mean, I guess you didn't know that, but
Well, what
guess they-
happened was they announced that they were going to mint a piece, one of their gifts or something, on Twitter, and it was 100% negative. Like the backlash was insane. It was just everyone was saying they're so disappointed and you guys are
And-
sellouts, or I don't know, like
Well, yeah, I guess my
bad for the
question.
environment. Yeah.
Okay,
like,
forget the environment part, but
so
you know,
they decided not to bother with it.
right.
They never released it.
Right, they took it off. But so my question is, why do you think there was that backlash? And it wasn't just about the environment. It was about, I don't know, they thought they sold out or something like that, or something, or it represented something that they felt they didn't
Oh,
originally
man.
stand for or something. And then my question to you is also, have you, and I take it you haven't, but have you yourself received any backlash at all about selling NFTs?
No, none.
Mhm.
None.
Okay,
But I
so
mean,
none.
I'm lucky because I kind of entered that world in like the best way possible, you know? Like I was like there was a moment on Clubhouse where like everything was NFT. I mean, it still kind of is. But like I was on there and meeting all like the young kids who are building the whole NFT community. You know what I mean? And so I showed up and I was like the weird conceptual art like grandpa who was like, wait, you've been doing weird shit since you were fucking 15 or whatever? Like, and now you want to do this with us? Like, fuck yeah, man. You know, like they saw me as like a benefit instead of like some weird celebrity fucking money grab, you know?
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
But then we started seeing a ton of that, like celebrity, like Grimes has an NFT, and here's some other asshole with an NFT, and like,
Oh, is it the fact that it's because if people are well known enough or celebrities to a degree that it feels like they shouldn't be doing this or something like that,
no,
or
it's just like, you know, like you don't show up to the party and like think everybody cares who you are. You know what I mean? Like there are people here who built this, who like it's somebody's house. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like the NFT crypto world is like a house built by those fucking nerds. And like if you're not trying to like be a part of that community of people, you know what I mean? Like you're just going to look like some weird outsider who's just trying to get clout or attention or money, and it just does it looks insincere. And I'm not saying that's the
Uh-huh.
case with the Tim and Eric thing because I have no idea what they did or
Yeah.
that or what happened. And I actually would love to look into it because there was a time where I thought those guys were like geniuses. And I don't know that they are anymore. I don't know. I mean, there's something, I don't know what it is. And I don't want to talk shit about them because I do love them. And I owe them a great deal like of inspiration from that fucking show. Those 6 seasons were fucking brilliant. But anyway, um,
Well,
I
okay.
wonder how they approached the whole NFT thing, and maybe that's what looked bad.
Well,
You know, I don't know.
this is all kind of speaking. This is all. I'm asking these questions because, well, the truth of the matter is, and I haven't said this on the show before, but I have an NFT out there actually
Oh, you do?
for sale.
What is it, Brent?
Nuh-uh.
It's I have to remember now if it's just a minute of a short film that's only 2 minutes anyway, or if it is the whole thing or not. It's kind of an experiment, and but it's either the whole thing or it's or a minute of this short I made called Squeeze. So these two big buff men shaking hands with each other, basically. And you know, I know, and before there's any backlash, I don't know why, I'm not sure why, but I will say that the way that NFTs were described to me and how they benefit content creators and so forth, it made a lot of sense. And I just thought, well, okay, as an experiment, let me just see what happens if I put this out there. And so, you know, yeah, it is up on chainsaw.fun.
Fuck yeah.
Chainsaw.fun, which,
Good
you
job,
know,
dude.
Matt Fury has his stuff there as
Yep,
well.
yep.
And anyway, that's where you can find it. Not that I would ever expect any of our listeners to, I would never expect our listeners to, I don't know, buy an NFT. At least, I don't
Why
know,
not, Brent?
because I don't
Why
really
not, man?
think that I think it maybe is, this
Well,
is, I
How
think
dare you?
NFT,
How dare you say that our listeners aren't art collectors or aren't worthy?
well, maybe. I just think most people in general are not art collectors. And
well,
I,
here's
I'm
No, go
looking
ahead.
at it
Finish what
right
you're
now.
saying.
Brent,
Yeah,
what
I have a
about
lot.
Squeeze?
I have a lot to say about this. I have a lot
When
to say.
when does the auction end?
this is up for from whenever, however
Oh
long,
yeah, it's
I
just up
think.
for sale. Okay, number one, that's the best move. That's the best thing to do. Like in terms of like getting into the NFT game, just fucking put weird shit on it. You know what I mean? Look, the idea is like keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're gonna like be a part of the thing and start trying to like keep putting weird shit out there. Like treat it as if it's another part of like a weird creative practice. And every once in a while, you just put out a new work. You know what I mean?
Well,
Does that
here's
make
what
sense?
here's what resonated with me, or here's what made sense to me when I was, you know, off, you know, kind of explained the opportunity or whatever, is that okay? A lot of stuff I make that becomes popular will just get stolen a bunch by random people on the internet and re-uploaded and get all these views that nobody has. It has nothing to do with me, even, you know, no, people don't even know who created this or anything, you
Uh-huh.
know, they'll just, this video will become very popular, and then nobody knows that I'm who made it, and other people kind of get credit for it in a way because of it helps their channels out and stuff like that. And at least by kind of making it an NFT and having it connected to me now, it kind of compensates for that happening. That's that kind of phenomenon where all these other people start benefiting off of your thing. Now, not that I have a huge problem with it. I also feel grateful that these things have been viral and that they made some sort of impact on people in general. I think that's cool. But also, it's kind of also cool to sort of somewhat get some sort of credit for that. And that kind of works with NFTs in a way, Am I right?
Yeah, 100%, dude. Like this is like the NFT thing, like the technology, right? Like is an ideal case scenario for what I've kind of envisioned for art to be for artists and everybody since I started, right? Like now, like what you're saying about that thing going viral, like the two things can coexist now, but now someone can buy that thing from you and hold the original as if it was a drawing. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
someone can claim like, yo, I own that weird viral thing. It's actually by this weird fucking artist named Brent Weinbach. Oh, I didn't even know that shit. Well, now you're going to learn, motherfucker. Like, because here's
Right.
an NFT that like legitimizes it as a thing. Now I'm a collector who has collected. And what you said earlier about the people like maybe not collecting, that's the other thing about NFT that's so fucking awesome. There's no gatekeepers now. Like before, when I worked in the traditional art world, there were collectors and curators and gallerists, and everybody had to have their little fucking say in like how good or bad my art was. You know what I mean? And how valuable it was.
We've
Now I
talked
can
about this before. Keep
100
preaching, brother.
100%. So now I can just put out my fucking work and put it out in a marketplace that anyone can access. All of your listeners now can go to my weird little OpenSea like profile and buy anything that I've made for a couple $100 or a couple thousand, depending on the piece, and like they can all buy into this weird artist legacy that I've been building since I got here. You know what I mean? So that by the time I die, that thing will be worth anything they buy will be worth infinitely more than they paid. It's fucking awesome. And everyone gets to win. Like everyone gets rich off of me. It's fucking great. And the other thing about NFTs that I love is that built into it is the royalty thing that no art has ever had.
Right.
So like, even if someone buys that video, that squeeze video from you,
that's
even
cool.
if they resell it the next day, even if they flip it, like you get 10% of that every time they flip it forever.
Exactly. Right.
Like, dude.
No, that's pretty cool too. Is that
fucking amazing?
And that's why that whole thing of it getting stolen and re-uploaded. Yeah, if this thing is resold, I'm getting still a piece of that as well. That's pretty cool. So, I mean, flipping. So one would even encourage flipping the art at this point,
I don't even care. A couple of people have started flipping my work in the last week or so, I've noticed.
Really?
I keep getting these emails like, you just sold a piece. I'm like, no, I didn't. And then I go check and it's like, oh, someone resold a piece they already bought and I'm just getting an extra $150 off it. Like, cool. I just got $150 for free. Like, God bless.
I have a friend who he bought, that that YouTube channel, Cool 3D World or something like that, or
no,
you know what I'm talking about, Doug?
Yeah, they make amazing videos.
Yeah,
Really?
they put. I think he bought their first NFT or something like that,
cool.
and he sold it. He ended up selling it, and I think he made, I don't know, something like $6,000 or $8,000 off of it or something like that.
My question is like,
he wasn't even intending on selling it. He ended up selling it, but yeah.
Well, we can keep talking about this, but maybe it gets boring. But I've read some things where it's like the whole NFT thing is like a pyramid scheme because the people behind it, they pay for it in this currency and they're just trying to get their currency more, make their currency have their crypto have more. I can't even explain it, but something like that. And it's like, what do the buyers have to gain other than sort of being patrons of the arts? You know what I'm saying?
Well, this is what's interesting to me about this whole. I liken what's happening now with all the naysayers and shit to the same shit that was being said when we invented the printing press or when the television came out. You know what I mean? Everyone was like, "Oh no, it's the sign of the devil" or whatever the fuck. And it's like, relax. It's just another fucking thing that we can use to like share our fucking thoughts and our feelings with each other. And like the thing you're saying about people getting scammed, I mean, you just have to be like. There's always going to be like the 90% of people in any industry or any marketplace that are just making a bunch of bullshit just to get fucking paid, you know? Like, I'm not that guy because I've been doing it for a long time and I'm not going to stop being weird and like insane and following this weird thread. You know what I mean? So like I'm legit. Like whatever you buy from me is real art. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to be worth something. And that's just going to take up that's just a matter of time as the culture develops to learn who like the real G's are and who like the dumb influencers are. You know, it's the same shit that was happening in Instagram. You know what I mean? Like there's going to be the asshole that has millions of followers and selling for millions of dollars, but all those poor people are getting fucked because in 20 years that guy's not going to mean shit. And the guy that was selling for like a couple $100 10 years ago and like has quietly been building a real legacy and a real like community of people that support him or her, right? Is going to be worth that once that thing flips, then you're good. You know, like that's the other thing that's interesting, and maybe we can leave it and talk about something else because the NFT does get boring. Like for the first time, every kind of creative human being has, like, we now have a marketplace and a framework that isn't obliged to someone else controlling how the money flows. Like, and instead of people buying, like, instead of me saying like that Basquiat is worth 60 million bucks, it's like that artist is worth 60 million bucks, and I'm going to make that 60 million from selling 50,000 things or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you're investing in the artist. You're investing in the artist instead of buying the thing. The thing is just like a little token or an artifact, like you were saying earlier. It's just an artifact of this like weird legacy of this weird creative human being who has a really interesting perspective and insight on the world that he loves to share, you know, or whatever. And I'm going to support this person on that journey by buying whatever it is they have at the time. You know, does that make sense? Because you're
Can
buying
I?
into the history of it. You're buying into the
Right.
story.
Sure.
Anyway, sorry.
Okay, I think that's definitely a part of it. And I think another thing, another aspect to answer Doug's question about what else do they get besides the bragging right or whatever it is about the NFT, is that in one could look at the NFT or collecting NFTs, for example, as kind of, or maybe something that's hard to wrap your head around, because what does that matter if it's a video that you can watch anywhere? You can watch the Squeeze video on YouTube for free or whatever. Why would you want to own it? What's the point of that? Well, I collect old video games, right? And some of them are pretty expensive, and I've paid some kind of higher amounts of money for video games in certain cases, and I don't need to do that. There's no reason, because people make reproduction carts of things, which is that they'll get the ROM of the game and they'll put it on a card and basically sell that for $25. I could get, and they play exactly the same way as if you're playing the original, right? And so why do I feel the need to get the original? Well, I somehow, for some reason, it's valuable to me. I assign this value to having the original authentic version of the cart. And it doesn't, I don't expect other people to understand that, really. It's kind of irrational in a way, but for me, it does have value, and it makes the game more valuable to me. So I guess what I'm saying is when someone does collect an NFT, it has value to them for somehow, and it's more than just bragging rights or whatever. It's whatever, for whatever reason they own it, and now it has value to them because they paid something for it.
Sure,
If
dude,
that makes sense.
it's just like when people collect like celebrity signatures or like
Yeah, or
baseball cards.
baseball cards. Yeah,
Or
exactly.
stamps. It's the same shit. Like people just fucking love stamps. You know, like maybe there are people that just love like this weird artist NFTs, so they keep buying every time he comes out with a new weird series. They're like, I want one. You know, like they just can't help it. You know what I mean?
People, because I also, even still in the video game realm, there's people who care about these unsealed, or these sealed, unopened versions of these boxed with the cellophane on them still.
Yep.
That they're never going to play the game even, and they'll pay, I mean, just crazy amounts of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars for a sealed copy of a game that you could get for $5 if it was just a loose copy of it, or even a boxed copy of it. You could pay $30 or something, right? But they'll pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for the sealed copy to not even play the game, but somehow that has value to them. I just can't really, even though I don't get that, I can't judge it, because I do similar things, and like I said, I feel the need to collect the original cart for something, and I won't even play an emulated version of the game or whatever. But anyway, aside from that, I just want to say that I don't hope that nobody sounds offended when I said, I don't expect any of our listeners to buy the game. What I mean by that is that I think art collecting and just collecting in general is sort of not the most general of things. Someone has to be a very specific kind of type of person to want to do that and pay higher amounts of money for things that they want to collect. So what I mean is just in a
Wow.
people who would maybe what?
Oh, shit.
You froze
that?
up hardcore. You were like, just in
Froze.
Just in
That was good. It was pretty
just
awesome.
in
Brent,
just in
it's fine. Don't worry
in
about
general.
it.
Anyway, I not that I don't think.
We all know that sealed, toys are, people collect those.
No, I'm saying I don't mean any offense to anybody who about with regards to
Oh no, I know.
that
I'm just
nobody
saying,
that our listeners are not the kind of people who would pay for NFTs.
Hey, wait,
I just
wait.
mean maybe
I
you
have a-
are, but I think it's a smaller percentage of people.
I have a question. Did you really? Were you just improvising, or did you really take pictures of poop?
Yeah.
You really took those pictures of poop?
Yeah, and
Man.
I actually want to make those NFTs actually.
Yeah, dude. Like, because I heard the podcast like yesterday in preparation for this.
Yeah.
You talk like that blew my mind, bro. Like, you have to put those out or something. Like,
Well, here's
you
the
probably
thing.
have done, and the same with Doug, man. Like, I know you make a bunch of weird shit. Like, you just need to be putting that shit out into the world. Like, it's fine. It doesn't matter if no one cares, because when they do care, everyone will care. You know what I mean? It's like a wave of fucking, like, once you tip the scale in like, oh, nobody's paying attention to my shit. Like, once you hit that scale and tip it, then it's just endless. You know what I mean? Especially if it's in the NFT game. Like, it's win-win for everybody. Just put everything out.
I actually really do consider those pictures to be works of, to be art
Yeah,
actually
they are.
personally. But
I mean,
anyway,
they sound like art. I haven't even seen them.
I'll show
even need to
them
see them.
to you. I think they're
Please.
cool actually.
Please, I believe you.
Well, Bert, we do. Do you want to stick around for the bonus part of the show?
Yeah, whatever. Sure.
I did have a few things that I wrote down that we shouldn't just save till the After Dark section.
There's an After Dark section.
The After Dark is like a little bonus half hour we do for the Patreon subscribers.
Oh,
But we can talk about some of that stuff on the After Dark section. I do want to talk about this gum though. This is just we're taking a left turn here, but Eclipse gum. This is shots fired. Okay. What does that say? 18 pieces, right?
Yeah.
Check this out.
Uh-oh.
What is this? Look at that. They left an extra bubble. I could have had easily 20 pieces in here. This bubble, what is that supposed to be, for a grip? That is some bullshit.
I would say it's for
Like, look, the grippy part isn't even, you can't even grab the little grippy part if it's flush in the box.
Yeah.
This is bullshit. I'm calling out. Eclipse they're probably saving $1 million by having one of their little bubbles be whatever this is supposed to be. Look, and then look, if I want gum, I go like this. Doink. There could have been a whole nother piece of gum right here.
See, that's bad. That to me. See, I look at that thing and I'm like, that's bad art. This company needs me to go to them and be like, guys, you're fucking up. You're doing a bad thing for your people.
That's,
like,
I mean, dude, Bert, that's what we do on this show. We have ideas. We improve things all around the world.
Well, I do that now. I do that now for a living. It's part of my art practice now. I work with brands. I told you this the other day.
You should hire me and Brent if you ever need to like outsource some
Well,
stuff.
no,
because
wait, no, dude.
We know how to
here's
make
the
everything
thing.
better.
So I started working with this one company, like legit working with this company, like helping them develop their brand, like as a conceptual artist, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's going great. I'm like their fucking Steve Jobs. I'm like, I don't know, flip that thing upside down, make that thing red. And they're like, okay. And dude, it's working. But anyway, and I know I say it jokingly, but it's actually like, it really is working. Like the company is about to fucking blow up. And I can't wait to be like the weird fucking like Steve Jobs man. Like, so now it's inspired me to start a conceptual agency, right? A conceptual art agency that's just like, so if you guys want to work at the agency, we just come up with weird ideas and approach all these weird brands and like, you guys are fucking up. let us help you like save yourselves because the world is changing and you're not. So like, let's go. It's hilarious. I can't wait to open my fucking agency. I'm gonna have the best agency on earth. Be like the weird, like it's gonna be like the CIA almost, but for art. You know,
California
Okay.
Institute of Art.
California Institute of
That's
Art.
what it could be called. The CIA.
Well, I'm also working on developing a school and lifestyle brand.
You got a lot of stuff going on. You got a lot of ideas. I like that.
I have a lot of ideas. I was struggling
And-
for a long time with them.
I've got buttloads of questions.
Brent, are you going to give us a Reebok update?
Ooh, I love Reebok updates.
Sorry.
How about we'll do that in After Dark maybe.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I said we could save it, but
Oh, okay. Okay. One more thought. Couple more thoughts
more
here,
thought.
just to end it on something
Uh-oh.
goofy. So I've been fostering this dog. You know, Acorn,
I love Acorn.
come here. I think ultimately he should be. I don't think I should keep him. I think he belongs in a house that's not just a single man like me.
I
Yeah.
agree.
I know Brent loves that so much.
It's
But
not that- you-
I love having a little being around.
Yeah.
You know, like living by myself. It's like I kind of go nuts when I don't have anyone to talk to or anything.
Doug, let me just say, I absolutely, for your sake, like the idea of the dog. Just or somebody to keep you company, or
100%.
something to keep you company. But I agree. I kind of think single people and I don't know, having pets is kind of. I feel pets are better suited for families. I think, or
I think so.
group-
So
or
I'm gonna get a
group homes.
family first. And if
Alright.
there's any ladies out there who want to start a family with me, hit me up. Hit up Brent. We're
We're
ready to
both
start our
dying to have
families.
kids.
We're dying to have kids.
I
Let's
actually-
go.
I
I'm
actually
just.
want.
I'm like, let's
I actually
just
want a
do.
kid,
Let's
too.
get this family started. Then we'll get a dog. Okay.
That's,
but look, that's besides the point. Here's my point. What if I got? Here's an idea. Okay, for someone like me,
Mhm.
how about a real dog?
Like a real doll.
Yeah.
A real dog?
I love this idea, Doug.
I
This
mean,
is a
I'm
good
all-
idea.
I'm all for it. I mean,
Have you ever
Dude.
seen these guys that like they have their real doll, and then they have photos of them like hanging out and
No,
like
dude.
socializing with their
oh,
real
I've-
dog?
I mean,
What if I had my
Yes.
real dog?
I love it. Real dog. I love it, Doug. This is one of your best ideas of in years here. A real dog.
And then Brent, what if they had a real dog after dark?
A real dog XX.
Triple X, you know what I'm saying?
Real dog. So what does that mean exactly?
I'll tell you in After Dark. It's hardcore. But the question is would it be legal?
Yeah.
yeah, of course. What do you mean?
How is that not legal?
Like a big rubber plastic dog?
Well, not even big.
I'll tell you
just
in After
regular
Dark.
life
We're about to
size.
go to After Dark, but here's another thought I had. My dog, when I go to pet it, he lays on his back and he like opens his legs up
Mhm.
and exposes his. I mean, that's just where his wiener is. But he wants the belly rub. It's very cute. I just go like this. I put my hand down and he like goes and like open up his leg. What if men did that? You know, like.
I do that all the time.
I'm gonna demonstrate. This will be for the video people only, but like, Brent, say, come to greet me. I'm at a party.
Oh, hey, Doug. Hey, it's me, Brent.
It's like,
Yeah. And then I
It's like
start
this.
rubbing on your stomach or
wait, do it
something.
again. Ready?
Hey, Doug. Hey, how's it going?
It's like, I don't know. It doesn't really work.
No, it works.
to
So
lay
he
down.
basically what Doug does is he opens his body up to get rubbed. Is that what it is?
Yeah, basically, it's the next level beyond hugging. It's like, you take your legs and you open up your crotch like really wide. You spread your legs to towards the person
To get your belly
exposing
ru-
your junk, I guess.
Yeah,
Genitals.
Your
Yeah.
genital zone, your crotch.
I do it all the time on my OnlyFans.
Okay, well, look, that wasn't as funny as I thought. Maybe
No, though that
it
is
needs
funny,
a little
man.
work. You know, just the thought I had the other day. Like,
No,
that'd be-
I
what if
definitely.
It's okay.
it's so normal for a dog to just be like, you pet them and then they like open up their penis and balls right towards you. What if people just started doing that? You know,
I'll do it. I'm ready
we
to
should
go.
start doing it. Next time I see you in person, Bert, which will
Okay.
be Saturday at the beach,
Yep.
I go to shake your
Perfect.
hand. You got to spread them.
Okay.
Well, no, but you should rub his belly though, or something.
I'll have to, but like full lay down. I'll do full lay down. You know.
I think the dog wants me to like pet his balls and penis and stuff.
Well, I think it's also a sign of submission, being
Yeah, I
submissive.
know.
Like
What is the dominant
Some-
person supposed to do?
sometimes
Yeah,
it
that's
comes
right.
from
Spread them.
sometimes it comes from fear, I think, and that may be like contributing to him freaking out when you leave and stuff. He's probably just a real jittery ass dog.
No,
you know?
it's completely cute. He's just, I go to pet him and he's just like,
But he is hard though, right?
full
Heart?
lipstick. Yeah.
Full
L'Oreal.
lipstick.
We're talking L'Oreal. All right.
Oh,
Let's
man.
end the main show here. Thank you, Bert, for being here. Always fascinating talking to you, and
Thanks, man.
always
Um,
fun going to the beach with you, which we will probably be doing
Hell
all
yeah!
summer.
This weekend's gonna be hot. Hey Brent,
Yeah.
you should come to the beach.
I know Brent should come with us sometime.
Maybe.
really
Well,
should.
once it gets really hot, I'll come and I'll
It's
get in the
supposed to
water
be-
too.
It's supposed to be 90 this weekend.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Bert, where can people find you?
Buy you.
Find
Where can
you. You have an OnlyFans. You're on TikTok. You're on Instagram. You're all over the place.
I'm on all of it. I'm on all the things.
Where can people buy you?
I mean, the best place to go is my website.
Which is-
and that norber.to. It's just my name with the R with the dot between the R and the T. norberto.to.
NORBER.TO.
Norbert.to.
Norber.to.
That's cool.
Yeah. Because that's where I have the link to like all the NFT. Like right now, I just have one NFT collection that I'm sort of slowly building as I build all the other things, you know? Because I'm only going to launch things from now on as they're like completely done. Because I used to do like just start putting stuff out even before it was finished, you know? Now I'm not. I'm just like releasing like full bodies of work kind of. So there's that, and then the OnlyFans is on there. The OnlyFans link is on there, which is another like conceptual performance project that I do on there for subscribers only.
What are you gonna
There's a
do on?
bunch
What are you gonna
there's a
do on OnlyFans?
Well, I've been like shooting a nude video every day
Nude?
since I don't know, last November. Since November 2020, I've been like daily. It's like a daily video vlog. Like I wake up every single morning. You know how you do your bit where you get out of bed every morning and turn on the radio and look out the window and say some like hilarious weird thing? Like I've been doing that sort of, but with my dick out, essentially on OnlyFans. I mean, I only have
Oh,
8
wait.
subscribers.
Hold on a second. Is this after or before the TM?
But just before the TM.
Now, do you do
Oh,
the
so
TM?
the TM's not the first one.
Do you do your TM after your BM?
Yeah. No.
All right. Well, look. Let's
I
go
do
to
the
After
BM
Dark.
first.
So
All right, let's go to
check
After Dark. We'll
everyone.
talk on
Check
that.
out, please. Check out our good friend Bert AKA Norberto. How would I say that? There's a lot of R's in there that are throwing me off.
Norberto.
Norberto.
Yeah.
Norberto.
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 Ooh, I like that. Norberto.
That's how they say
Got
it
it.
in
All right,
my
thanks, Bert.
country of origin. Thanks, guys.
Norberto.
You're the
Thank you, Bert.
best.
We would like to thank our Poundcast
Team.
team. We're talking about Jackie Montana, Chloe Bonilla, and Jack Birch, Alberto.
I love
You
those
know,
guys.
That's how we do it. That's
I
our
didn't
team.
even know them.
And as soon as we get these Poundcast NFTs going, they're gonna be
Bro.
cashing out.
Bro, I'm going to help you get this NFT game going.
Thank
I
you,
want to help
Bert.
everyone get the NFT game going.
Dude, I want to get these poop pictures up on NFT.
Let's
do
go.
it.
No, seriously, that's what I want my agency to do. Like, I want my agency to just help people like get into, like, part of the agency is going to help people like just become artists. Like, yo, you want to be an artist? I got you. Come with me. And then I just like, what do you love? You love fucking chicken wings? All right, we're gonna make a video of you fucking talking about chicken wings. You're gonna fucking get a chicken wing suit. I just got all kinds of fucking chicken wing ideas. You're gonna be the chicken wing guy for the rest of your fucking life. Build a following, sell NFTs. You're gonna be rich. It's gonna be great.
All
So
right, and
imagine
a
if
big
every
middle
person-
finger to Eclipse.
Oh yeah, Eclipse. I'm gonna call him. Tell him
A
to
big
fix his
middle
shit.
finger. They're robbing me of my gum. Um,
How much did you pay for that thing?
I actually bought one and then chewed them all, but I wanted to talk about it, so I went and bought another pack.
Oh, that's like revenge. You gave them money just out
All right,
of
let's go to
spite.
After Dark. Thank you everyone for listening, and we'll see you next week on the Poundcast.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Doug and Brent. 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 Talking to each other. Doug and Brent are talking to some pinballs. Doug and Brent will talk to their friends and Doug and Brent. Doug and Brent talking on the Poundcast.